eCapitol News Director Sean Ashley joins us to recap the legislative session and talk about what happened and what didn't happen at the Capitol. Sean, thanks for being with us.
You're very welcome.
Well, we've discussed the bills that did pass. What about those that never made it into law?
That's right. Approximately 400 bills landed on the governor's desk for her to sign, of the more or less 3,000 that were available for consideration. Some of those covered things like the various ways of raising revenue that the legislature looked at, such as a proposal to raise the fuel tax, which died in a House committee. There were also proposals discussed prior to the legislative session, like dealing with the Real ID Act, which Oklahoma is not currently complying with, and could affect Oklahomans' access to federal buildings and even airplanes that didn't make it to the governor's desk. In almost every area of law, whether it's education, whether it's agriculture, there was something that didn't make it through the legislative process and probably will be considered again in a future legislative session.
Okay, and what's going on in the interim? What are legislators going to be up to?
Well, they're going to look at some of those issues, as a matter of fact. Representative David Perryman from Chickasha, for example, has filed an interim study related to the Real ID Act and what Oklahoma can do next year in order to implement the necessary laws so that Oklahoma can become compliant with that. There are a variety of other issues that are being considered for interim studies on the House side. We've yet to see the Senate side studies. Some of those deal with funding, what non-appropriated agencies are taking in, the various fees we're required to pay for certain government services. Education, agriculture, all those issues are on the table and could be studied in the interim later this year.
All right, and term limits are going to be raising their head. We're going to lose some veterans, is that right?
That's exactly right. We'll see approximately 40 new members next year. When you consider the number of legislators who were term limited and those who are not seeking re-election, that's out of 149. That's a pretty good group of people that you're going to lose, and we'll have to see who replaces them and how they step up and the current members step up to fill those empty shoes.
Okay, already looking forward to the next session to see what happens.
It'll be exciting.
All right, thank you, Sean Ashley with eCapitol.
You're very welcome.